What's up, guys? I'm DK Wrestler.
And I'm MD Shady.
And in today's video, we're finally going to be doing a Q&A.
We've taken questions from you guys across multiple different social media platforms like X, YouTube, and Instagram.
And you guys did send in quite a bit of questions, and we can't wait to answer them, whether it's about Funko, the company themselves, or just about us in general.
So, let's check it out.
So the first one comes from Bash and Derek, and I guess this question is more towards me. We want Matthew Mounty to return to the ring to CWF at Resolution. So of course, if you watch this channel for a long time, and I always mention in the videos about being a professional wrestler outside of making these YouTube videos, of course, Matthew Mounty is my in-ring name, so clearly Derek has done some research. No, because I've already made my return to the ring outside of the area that this show is taking place in, since I was doing those tours. And in terms to CWF Resolution, I unfortunately won't be on that show because I'm actually working a different wrestling show that so happens to be taking a place that exact same day in pretty much the same area.
Yeah, it is unfortunate that he won't be at Resolution. A couple of people at my work were actually asking me if he was going to be there because it's a pretty cool big event, but Matthew Mounty's doing some big things elsewhere, and I still always gotta feel like he kind of got that name from me.
Jordan Gayton, and the question is, can you show your top 5 South Park Funkos or top 5 Simpsons Funkos? Now, it just so happens that before filming this video, we actually just finished filming a set of YouTube shorts in which one of them so happened to be a top 5 South Park Funko Pop. So I technically could name my top 5 and maybe MD won't, but then maybe we should also answer our top 5 Simpsons Funko Pops for this question.
Fair enough.
So I think for me, it's going to be no specific order because of course this is off the cuff. Timmy and Gobbles from the new set. I'm going to say the Coon from San Diego Comic-Con 2017. Mr. Hanky, the Christmas Poo. Mysterion, I believe the character is the Kenny superhero one. And then just regular old Kenny. I guess that would be my top 5 that I could think off the top of my head. In terms to Simpsons now, as I look, I think definitely as I'm looking on the wall for MD Shady, Kang and Kodos, the 2-pack from San Diego Comic-Con 2019. The New York Comic-Con comic book guy. The Trios of Horror Hugo Simpson. Stupid Sexy Flanders from Festival of Fun 2021. And then I probably have to say Bartman, considering that that was one of my favorite versions of Bart while either watching the series or actually playing games like Hit and Run and Road Rage.
And then I guess for me as well, it'll be no specific order for my top 5 for Simpsons. It's really hard for me because it is one of my favorite things to collect as terms to Funko. Yeah, the Kang and Kodos is definitely up there. The OG Krusty the Clown is an amazing pop, and I'm so thankful to have that in my collection. Comic Book Guy is a great pop. Automan, I love that Automan pop, that was sweet. And then you know what, for my last one, let's go Barney Gumble. I think that pop was done very well.
Patrick's Toy Review. I have a YouTube channel and I collect many stuff. The question is, what is your favorite collectible? So I guess personally for me, I would have to say Funko Pops in general, because even though I do collect some things, it's not as much as Funko Pops, and it also is kind of a money thing also, to where, let's say I go to collect, I don't know, WWE figures, and they're like 4 times the amount that a Funko Pop is normally.
For me, this is a really hard question because I collect a lot of everything, honestly. So much stuff. I collect, obviously, Funko-related products. I collect movies. I collect VHS tapes. I collect vinyl. I collect CDs, video games, a lot of different action figures like WWE, Small Soldiers. I collect McDonald's branded things. I love McDonald's products. Hockey cards, tons of different types of cards in general. Lots of Pokemon. A huge range of things that I collect, honestly. I would say like vintage, nostalgic stuff. Let's be kind of broad here. That's my favorite thing to collect.
Patrick also sent in a very simple question, that being, do you like Scooby-Doo? I think Scooby-Doo is pretty cool. When it comes to the Funko world though, I don't collect the Scooby-Doo Pops because I am very specific of like what I collect. I always feel like I mention to people, collect what you need rather than what you want.
What's your Scooby-Doo? They're coming after you. Yeah, of course, I love Scooby-Doo. I do have a few Scooby-Doo products in my like Funko collection, but I also have a ton of different Scooby-Doo stuff. I'm currently trying to collect every VHS and DVD that Scooby-Doo has had, which is a tough feat, but I also have a lot of it already, so it's a really cool, fun thing to collect.
Peter, who always comments on our videos, so thank you very much, Peter, for sending in some questions. In your own Funko Pop collection, how many wrestling pops do you have? For me, I can't think of the exact number, but I would have to say, because in my set that I have them in an order of like, there's 6 in a row, and then it may be like 4 or 5 high, so 6 times 5, that's 30? I think I'm able to fit. If my math's correct, I'm not the greatest at math, not gonna lie. I would have to say at least that, and then also there is a couple of 2-packs that I couldn't fit, so I'm gonna say around 30 to 35 that I have in total, because I do collect WWE Pops, but not all of them, especially because of how massive that lineup is.
And for me, it's kind of different. When I first started collecting Funko, the WWE lineup was one of the biggest collections I had, but I've since thinned it out because I do collect so many wrestling figures that I felt like I didn't really need the Pops. But right now, I think I do have about 5 Pops that I'm keeping in my Funko collection, those being the like Invisible John Cena, the Doctor of Thugonomics John Cena, the Glow Chase Naomi, which DK had gifted me. Then I feel like there's like a couple of other ones as well. I think it's about 5.
This next question comes in from Aerostar 519, huge fan of the channel. Would you and MD ever pop yourselves as Deadpool and Wolverine? So it's the new thing that started at San Diego Comic-Con on the Funko shop, where obviously it's the pop yourself, you make your own version of yourself, but you can do it in the style of Deadpool and Wolverine. And I feel like this would be a cool like multi-pack if they were to do them in multi-packs instead of like singular pops, where then one of us could be Deadpool and one of us could be Wolverine, which I feel like the way that this would go is that I'd be Deadpool, which I'm perfectly fine with, and then MD being a pretty big fan of Wolverine, he would be Wolverine. So that'd be a cool little mashup.
Yeah, I would definitely love to do that. That would be a ton of fun.
Another question coming in from Aerostar 519. Do you think Funko should put Tristan, aka Top Pops, as the new fun maker? So basically taking the place of course, fun maker Mike Becker, who had recently left Funko. It's hard to say, because I think Tristan is doing well on his own with his YouTube channel. Like, you can see that Funko's YouTube channel only has about 650,000 subscribers, while Tristan has 3 million. So he's got a ton and he's doing successful on his own, although it would be cool for the sake of if he travels to, like, let's say San Diego Comic-Con or New York Comic-Con or these big conventions, that like if he works for Funko, then probably they would pay for his airfare instead of out of his own pocket. But I feel like if he becomes an employee of Funko, he's gonna have a lot of restrictions to where, like, even possibly he would have to do everything as terms to Funko, and possibly even have to relocate from Canada to Seattle or Hollywood, where like the headquarters are.
Yeah, this is definitely an interesting question. Tristan is a good friend of ours and we love the growth that he's had on the channel. It is crazy, but I don't think he should be put in that position. But I do feel like Funko should definitely utilize him more. Everyone loves Tristan. He is dubbed the king of Funko for a reason.
And then another question from Aerostar 519. What is your thoughts on the Rick and Morty Funko NFTs? I kind of got a little bit of a love-hate relationship with the set, because I find the set is pretty decent with the amount of like newer characters that are in there. I believe it's Nimbus and then Blim Blam, I think the name is. I can't exactly remember. And the only way you can get Morty in the set is the royalty with Freddy Funko as Evil Morty. So, and then my hate about this is because I've mentioned this so many times. Where the is Morty Jr.? I have been waiting for this for so long, and I've mentioned in the past that if they don't add that character into an NFT set, I feel like he's never being made.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way about this set. I really wanted to see Morty Jr. If there was a Morty Jr., I probably would have went in on this drop, and one person that I do know that really did enjoy this drop was Rye the Pop Guy, so shout out to him.
This next question comes from Pops and Props YT. Shout out to Pat, good guy. So his question is, what are your thoughts on what's going to happen with Funko since Mike Becker has left? I've been thinking about this for a while and thought about doing a video once Mike had announced that he was leaving Funko. I feel like nothing isn't going to change entirely too well, besides the fact that of course Mike Becker's gone. But if there is anything that is going to change, there could be a possibility, I feel, that Fun Days will no longer be a thing, because I feel like Funko financially doesn't make a ton of extra money off that. Because if you think about it, with all the pops they gotta make, the sodas, and especially this year they had to add Wacky Wobblers and the Bitty Pops into that I feel like they're not making enough of a return, especially when you get like the free proto and stuff, unless they like really cranked up the prices for Fun Days when it comes to 2025 and 2026.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And with the whole like future of Funko, we've kind of been saying that for years anyway, so I don't really think Mike Becker leaving is too much of an issue. Of course, things could change, but will it be for the better or for the worse? I don't know. We're just gonna have to wait and find out.
And then we have the final question, and this was a very interesting question because it technically was one question for me and one question for you, but I think it would be funny to do like both of us answering this question. So the question that was sent, which is by Bastion Derek, what's MD Shady's favorite dish to cook? And for DK, what is your dream first wave of AEW Funko Pops? Let's start off with the more question for MD Shady, but I'm also going to answer too. I would say mostly anything in a microwave because I am at cooking. People who know me very well, I'm not the greatest at cooking. I've mentioned a lot of times to people that one time I tried cooking grilled cheese, didn't know you had to put butter on both sides of the bread, and had a fire going on in the frying pan about this high. So obviously I've learned from that and I know how to cook grilled cheese now, but realistically things that actually I can cook and I guess would be my favorite thing to cook is salmon on the frying pan. I love salmon actually when you get it in the package and actually has the skin rather than the skinless, because I think the skin actually tastes pretty good. Squirt some lemon in there, do some spices, and I think it's chef's kiss right there, no pun intended, to MD Shady, who's also a cook. But I would have to say salmon.
For me, this is one of the hardest questions ever, and I get asked it all of the time. Of course, being a cook, that's something that people are just going to ask you, and I never really have an answer, but I think I can sum one up pretty good today. So one thing that I do really enjoy cooking is beef Wellington. That is a really fun thing. One of the first, like, harder to make dishes that I ever really made. Recently, I've been really loving making lox, which is basically like bagel, cream cheese, onions, capers, stuff like that, kind of like a Jewish food, which is really cool. I'm not Jewish, but I do really enjoy having that with salmon. I don't know if I mentioned that. Something that I do really enjoy kind of dabbling in cooking is really any like Asian cuisine. I haven't really had like a lot of time to do that, but I love making different types of stir fries, and recently at my work I have been making and perfecting this recipe for an Asian beef soup, and man, it's delicious.
And then to sum up the question of dream first wave of AEW Funko Pops, I almost want to say it's similar to what U2's pulled off with their figures. Like, I would like to see, example, of course, Chris Jericho has to be on that list. Orange Cassidy, Kenny Omega, and the Young Bucks. I feel like MJF is a given also. And I'm just gonna end it off by copying U2's, and I would like the idea of doing a timeless Tony Storm, where the common could be just regular Tony Storm, and then the chase is simply black and white, just like you see in her entrance. And that's basically what they did with the regular U2's, and then the Ringside Collectibles exclusive.
Yeah, I definitely really like that idea. I feel like my first wave would be very similar to that. Of course, you gotta have Jericho, the Bucks, Kenny Omega, MJF has to be in there. That's a no-brainer. And then one more that I'm gonna throw in, Darby Allin, and you could probably do chase versions with different kind of makeup or different outfits.
Anyways, guys, that's gonna be the end of today's video. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know some questions for a future Q&A video, and we hope to see you guys in the next video on the channel. 1, 2, 3, I'm out of here.
Peace in, peace out.